Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or at Instagram at justskeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. A-Train Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 1-3, dropping hot beats for the city as always. So please make sure you guys check out his latest projects, because he always got some new fire for you guys. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of want to talk about something that I heard at one of the recent funerals I've been to. It was a great message, which really made me think a little bit. But the message that the pastor shared was that we all have a past, and it was pretty deep. So R.I.P. to my Uncle Thomas, or Tommy. Thomas is his correct name. My grandma called him Tommy, but his name is Thomas. So R.I.P. to my Uncle Thomas. We're going to miss you. We appreciate everything you taught us. But one thing, the last lesson you taught me was the idea that we all have a past and we have to just learn to move on from it, So while they were up there talking, they were talking about Uncle Thomas, and, always at the funeral, you always hear so many things that you never knew about the person. Definitely an elder that was, a different generation than you were in, definitely over your parents, things like that. Those things really stand out, and it really just makes you think. And one thing that they talked about was how, Uncle Thomas, he didn't finish high school. He got the opportunity to move to Vegas to make some money. So he just got up and, came to Vegas to make some money. And, he did what he had to do out here. And, they probably did some underground stuff as well on the side with the Black Mafia, and who knows what they did, And it's crazy to think that my uncle, the person that comes over and he's always so nice and so generous and respectful, and always just has a good smile, had a dark past where, he used to do some things that were possibly illegal or frowned upon. And it's kind of like, wow, I never even saw that. I would never have noticed that. But it kind of shows that you don't have to be the person you was in the past. You always have the opportunity to change. Like this man, who knows how long he did this, but they said that he didn't get baptized until around 2008 or something like that. And that kind of blew my mind, because it's like, well, by then you were already over 50. You were already lived most of your life, but you still decided that it's not too late for me to change, and I can still change at this time in my life. So I'm gonna choose to change now and just live forward with this new mindset, this new attitude, this new heart that I have. And I think that mindset is so beautiful. A lot of times when I talk to my grandparents, I hear about the things that they used to do, and it's like, I can't believe that, you guys frown upon me doing that stuff when you used to do it. But it's like, they know from the past on what it can lead to, but they know that you don't have to be stuck there. And even if you do get stuck into something that you don't like, they always have this mindset of, there's another level, you can change, you can get out of it. There's always a way out. There's always an opportunity to change, become who you are, And at the elder age that they are, they easily understand that because they've been through way more life than us. You know, my grandma been through double the life that I have. You know, my age compared to her, she still has so many years to me. If you even double my age, she still has half my age above her, you know. And it's like all that life that she went through brought in so much experience, so much knowledge, you know, so many different type of mindsets. You know, who knows how many times she had to reset herself and become a new person and reset her attitude and get a new attitude and reset her heart to become a new heart, you know. And it's like all that stuff that was in the past, she had to leave it in the past, you know. And we can't continue to be that person in the past if we want to be this new person, you know. So one thing I want to talk about is, you know, make that choice to change. You know, yes, we had bad upbringings, you know, we may did bad actions, we may have had bad intentions back in the day. You know, we were young, we were impulsive, we didn't think correctly. You know, wherever the case may be, from if you're a high schooler right now, that just, you know, you're a high schooler compared to what you were in middle school, you're not the same person. If you're a college kid compared to where you were in high school, you're not the same person. You know, if you're an adult with kids, you're not the same person as you were in high school, you know. And it's like you have to learn to really let that past go and overlook that past and forgive yourself for the past. And if you feel like you need to ask for forgiveness, do that, you know, ask for forgiveness. But I learned that a lot of times when you bring up something old, a lot of times people let that go already. You know, it's been in the past, they learn to let it go. It's something on your heart that you need to let go in the past, you know. So you know, that's one thought is let go of your past. And then my second thought is let go of others people's passes. You know, a lot of times we assume that people will never change and, you know, they're always going to be the same person they always was. You know, this person was the same since high school, stuff like that. Yes, we may have similar traits, you know. I know for me, I've probably always been controlling. I probably always had a little hot temper. You know, I probably always had a little sarcastic to myself and, you know, a little blunt at times. But I promise you, I'm not the same way I was when I was back in high school, when I was more cutthroat and didn't care about hurting your emotions at all, you know, and didn't think before I spoke. I just spoke, you know. But nowadays, I've learned, I've grown, I've transformed. I understand the issues I had in the past and was like, okay, let me adjust myself to make myself better, you know. And I think that a lot of people have seen my growth. And because they see my growth, you know, they kind of open up the door again for me to come back in and, you know, be a part of their life, part of their organization, a part of whatever it is, you know. But if they would never stop to say, oh, I see his growth, but I still believe he's the same, I would never got those opportunities, you know, and vice versa, you know. Some people get into relationships with people that hurt them in the past. And it's like, people always wonder, why'd you go back to that person? And it's like, yeah, you may have seen that one scar that may have happened, but you're not seeing the change that I see in this person right here. And I'm accepting myself. I'm allowing myself to see this change. If I don't want to see the change, I'll never see it, you know? And I think that's something where people are so stuck in their mind, they're so headstrong that they can't be open-minded enough to see that somebody can change, somebody can evolve and become a new person, a new creation, you know. One person I want to shout out is my brother Doug. You know, big shout out to my brother Doug. His transformation has been beautiful over the last few years, you know, like from what he is now, he's almost a whole new person from what he used to be. At the same time, he's still the same person. He's still my same goofy brother who I can laugh with and have jokes with, but you see the way he moves now and the way he thinks and the way he acts is so much different, you know, and the way he stands up for himself is like beautiful. And it's like, that's a good person right there. And I wonder how many people from the past try to approach him thinking he's the same person, and they realize, oh man, this is a different being right here, you know, this is a whole new person. I can't push this person over like I used to back in the day, because he now has his backbone, he is strong in what he believes in, and he's not breaking for nobody, you know. And that's like the realization people need to take. And some people will come back from the past thinking you're the same person and realize you aren't. They'll slowly disappear and be like, okay, I guess I can't take advantage no more, you know. So yeah, But yeah, with all that being said, it's just with the main mindset that we all have a past. You know, we all have a self that we probably embarrassed of, that we probably don't like, that we couldn't believe we used to do this or move this way or act this way, whatever the case may be. And my mindset is one, we have to accept that that's a part of our story, that's a part of our past, that's a part of our history, that's a part of what made us who we are today. So, you know, let's not fight it. Let's not try to say, oh, I was never that person, nothing like that. No, accept it. Yes, I used to be that person and that's how I used to act, but not no more. I learned my lesson and I'm moving forward with who I am now. And with who I am now, this is what you get, you know. And if you still see me as this old person, I understand, but that's not me no more. And I need you to move on just like I'm moving on, you know. And if somebody still does see you as that old person, just let them continue to see you as that old person. You know, you can only control your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Ain't no point of always trying to convince somebody you knew or convince somebody you changed. No, just be the new person you need to be. And the people that need to see that change will see it. And the people that appreciate the change will show their appreciation, come back around. And if they're still just trying to, you know, keep you in that little box, let them keep you there. But, you know, that's their filing system of you, not your filing system of yourself. So don't put yourself in that little box like they got you. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that episode helped you guys out today. I hope everybody has a great week to come. Please keep swimming, keep pushing forward, keep fighting, never give up in this amazing world. You're doing so amazing. It's another great day. If you're hearing this message, you're blessed. You got to see this day, so you're blessed. So please make sure to be thankful, share a smile, share some love, and yeah, never give up in this amazing world that we have, you guys. So with all that being said, I hope everybody has a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.